элементов, посмотрим, что там дальше. Ну, есть подозрение все-таки на усилитель. Прием. Не слышно, да, этого уже звука нету, да, на приеме?
Ульяна Тамара, нулевой, Иван Центральный.
На частоте Ульяна Тамара, нулевом центре на приеме.
Кто-то меня слышит, 7 от 3 ГПМ.
Пока по-другому не услышу, я хоть 2 часа буду сидеть, но я станцию никогда звать не буду. Ну так, без обид, это я просто вам так говорю как.
Плохо, вот назад сворачивает.
Сейчас,
You are that?
SM2, Japan, Echo Bravo.
Italy United 7, QRP station. Okay, stand by. Everyone stand by. Claudio Salmi, 59 plus 10, Claudio Salmi. Buongiorno, Claudio. Yeah, very good. Nice audio. Claudio, buongiorno, Santa de Tre, buona fortuna. Bye-bye, Claudio. Very good, 73. Thank you, Claudio. Everyone stand by. Papa Delta 4 Victor Lima. Case, joint case, this is Ferry. Badamani, Robert. Very good copy, no problem. The propagation not good, but I copy you 5-7. Your audio is beautiful, case, Roger. Okay, all the best in 73. Everyone, if you want calling me, please request. If you not coming in the pile-up, okay, you can try chat me, request in my YouTube chat, in my YouTube live streaming, you can message me, request, I will call you, okay, because the propagation is not good. Please open the YouTube chat, YouTube, and request in the YouTube, okay, thank you. Anybody else? Yankee Bravo 0 Alpha Radio, do you have that? Yes, very good. Stand by. Any Hotel Bravo 9? Hotel Bravo 9? Charlie Zulu. Very good. Hotel Bravo 9, Charlie Zulu. Hello, Peter. 595 by 9, Peter, okay? Yeah, very good. 59 plus 10. Thank you, Peter. 73, Peter. Bye-bye, Peter. Bye-bye, 73. Okay, anybody else? You are that?
Echo America 2, Echo Bravo, Florida.
Echo Bravo, Florida. Very good, thank you. Buenas noches, Miguel. Luis Miguel Perez. You are very good. 59 plus plus. 5 open market. Question, Luis Miguel?
Okay, QSL Ferry, using a report here in the north coast of Spain is also 5 by 9. 5 by 9, very strong and clear, nice radio. Okay, Ferry. Yankee Bravo Zero Alpha Radio, this is Echo, America 2 Echo, Bravo, Florida.
Yeah, you also nice audio, beautiful audio. Thank you. Un abrazo, Santa Tetre, hasta la vista. Bye-bye, Luis.
Okay, bye-bye. Fuerte abrazo, 73. Take care.
Take care, Santa Tetre. Thank you. Okay, Eddie Paulius, you are that? Standby, with the Papa Echo 1. Papa Echo number 1. Ramon, very good. You are 5 by 8, 58. Papa Echo 1, Oscar United Whiskey Portable. 5 by 8, Ramon, Roger. Yeah, very good. 100 watt with the portable. Good job, Ramon. Very good. Dank u wel. Bedankt, meneer 73, Ramon. Bye-bye. Okay, 73. Okay, Yankee Bravo Zero Alpha Radio. Live streaming now. Live streaming in YouTube. TQDI. You all that?
Oscar November 7, Oscar Foxtrot, Foxtrot.
Oh, very good. Good. Hello, good. You are very good. The cubical quad is the king of antenna. The king of antenna is cubical quad, 20 dB, good. Oh, and 7 off. Hello, good. How are you, Roger?
Yeah, how you doing there, Ferry? You're doing absolutely great here. I get you also 5.9++. I am also on the live stream. I'm live streaming myself. I had Kilo 6 Tango Echo here earlier on. He was having a blast in my shack here, so he was using my station as well. And yeah, he made a 360 degrees tour of my antenna. I send it to you on the WhatsApp, so you can have a look on my 2-element. Just simple, small 2-element, but performs very well. How are you doing, mate? It's been a while. I haven't been able to talk and sit down in front of my shack. So last time I spoke to you, I was operating, what was it, mobile or something like that? I don't remember now, or portable. I don't remember. Anyway, fine business. You're doing great, mate. Fantastic signal, audio quality as usual. Super 5, mate. Back to you there, Ferry. Yankee Bravo Zero Alpha Romeo, the king of Indonesia. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox, over.
Yeah, Kun Kwab, Swadika, my friend Hood, OM7 off, YB0 off radio. Thank you, Hood. Yeah, very good. You are 25 dead. You are very strong in the pilot, okay? The antenna working good. Your antenna working. The last here, sir, you are in the remote with Android, with your phone. Very good. Very good audio with the Bluetooth headset. I remember that. You clever man. Using the Bluetooth headset in your garden is very good indeed. Okay. Yeah, good. Maybe someday if you visit Indonesia, we can building the cubic antenna together, QSL?
Yeah, QSL, and I will make yourself also the remote setup, so you can go to the beach and sit down with the cocktail in your hand under the palm tree and enjoy the beautiful scenery on the beach there. Who knows? So yeah, I'm happy that it's working well, and it's always a pleasure to see that the signals are strong. And also my friend, he said, yeah, this is a super station. Wow. So he was making 2-3 calls, and then he had to pile up. So it was pretty fun for him as well. It's a very good friend of me. I know him for, I think, maybe now 35 years. And he is a Belgian guy, but he now lives in California. And he was here visiting me after 3 years. He couldn't come to Belgium because of the COVID. Okay, I'll let you go. I guess you get the pileup, so enjoy the pileup. Nice to hear you there, Ferry. Take care, and one day I'll make it to Indonesia. Yankee Bravo Zero, Alpha Romeo. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox, over.
Yeah, very good, good. Yes, and I hope to see you in Jakarta, Indonesia. And I can give you the nice cigarette. Okay, it's not good smoking on the live streaming. I hide my cigarette. Okay, someday some people complaining. Not good. Okay, not good. The smoking. I know that, but just fun on their hobby. not 2 months. Okay, thank you, good. Regard to your family and all good there. I'm very glad you come to my frequency, and I will start your live streaming. Thank you so much, my friend. Your YouTube channel is very, very good. Oscar November 7, Oscar Foxtrot, Yankee Bravo 0 Alpha Radio. Yeah, 0032 Alpha Mike, local time Jakarta, Western Indonesian time. Good, over.
Wow, you're night owl, huh? You're the night owl. You're the guy, staying awake for the radio. This morning I was talking to a gentleman. He was in Georgia, and it was 3 a.m. in the morning. Maybe I should operate remote from my little shed in the garden in night, and also make some noise. 73, take care, and good luck there, Ferry. God bless you, mate. Stay safe.
Yeah, God bless you and your family, kid. Good. Kun Kap, Sawadee Kap, 73. Bye-bye.
Sawadee Kap, Kop Kuma Kap, Yankee Bravo Soong, Alpha Romeo, Oscar November Jet, Oscar Fox, bye-bye.
Kap, 73. Very good. Thank you, kid. 73. Okay, anybody else? Yankee Bravo 0 on the radio. Live streaming now. Do you have that? Yeah, Hotel Bravo Tango. Let me make the list, okay?
Let me see if I can play back like this. If I can play back the recording that Ferry was making about me. Let me see if I click here. Yeah, I see the live stream over here. This is my live stream, and I'm gonna go to the live stream of Ferry. There you go, that's the one. Okay, let me just show you what I have here. Yeah, you can. Okay, you guys, you can listen to it. Let me just show you the browser.
Italy 5 Charlie Sierra Yankee, and anybody else.
Okay, let me just wind back, see how was my signal.
Marcus Delta Juliet 0.
Okay, that was the guy right before me. There you go.
Roger. Very good. Thank you, Roman. Very good. 100 watt. Yeah, very good. 100 watt with the portable. Good job, Ramon. Very good. Dank u wel. Bedankt, meneer 73, Ramon. Bye-bye. Okay, 73. Okay, Yankee Bravo 0 Alpha Radio. Live streaming now. Live streaming in YouTube. CQDI. Q outside. Oh, very good. Good. Hello, good. You are very good. The cubical quad is the king of antenna. The king of antenna is cubical quad. 20 dB, good. ON7 off. Hello, good. How are you, Roger?
Yeah, how you doing there?
Very good.
Absolutely crazy.
Thank you.
You also 5.9 plus. I am also on the live stream.
Very good.
I'm live streaming myself.
Yes. I will share.
6 Tango Echo here earlier on. He was having a blast in my shack here, so he was using my station as well. And he made a 360 degrees tour of my antenna. I send it to you on the WhatsApp, so you can have a look on my 2 elements. Just simple, small 2 elements that performs very well. How are you doing, mate? It's been a while. I haven't been able to talk and sit down in front of my shack. So last time I spoke to you, I was operating, what was it, mobile or something like that? I don't remember.
Yes.
Or portable. I don't remember. Anyway. Fine business, you're doing great, mate. Fantastic signal, audio quality as usual. Super 5, mate. Back to you there, Ferry. Yankee Bravo Zero Alpha Romeo, the king of Indonesia. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox, over.
Yeah, Kun Kwap, Swadika, my friend Kurt, and 7 off, YB0 off radio. Thank you, Kurt. Yeah, very good. You are 25 dB. You are very strong in the pilot, okay? The antenna working good. Your antenna working. The last QSO, you are in the remote with the Android with your phone. Very good audio with the Bluetooth headset. I remember that. You clever man. Using the Bluetooth headset in your garden is very good indeed. Okay. Yeah, good. Maybe someday if you visit Indonesia, we can building the cubic quad antenna together, QSL.
Yeah, QSL, and I will make yourself also the remote setup, so you can go to the beach and sit down with the cocktail in your hand under the palm tree and enjoy the beautiful scenery on the beach there.
Very good.
So yeah. I'm happy that it's working well, and it's always a pleasure.
That was nice signal coming into Indonesia. So fantastic. I'm gonna make a few calls and see if there's anything happening here on the 20 meter. Let me just switch to the different bands just quickly. I'm not having any noise, voice, whatever, but I'm just having a quick look if I can see anything on the cluster. I see on 17 meter the Seychelles. I've spoken to this gentleman a few times. Zulu Sierra 6, that's South Africa on 15 meters. Okay, so not much happening. Zulu 21 Romeo uniform. I have no idea what's that QTH. Let me just check with QRZ.com if I can figure out what is a QTH. Zulu 21 Zimbabwe. That seems an interesting one. But that's in FT8. Okay, so bad luck for me. I'm an SSB guy. I'm not going to play FT8. That's 11 meters. Oh, 10 meters seems to be open. Look at this. November 6, Oscar Papa Romeo, Kilo Charlie. That's America. I'm not sure if we've got America here on... let's have a look. I'm going to have a listen. Let me unmute. Yeah, the problem I'm having with the upper section of the HF band is that I have a lot of bleed over with my SDR Play receiver, so it's a little bit of pity. I should invest maybe in a filter or something like that, but what a hassle if you need to change the filter settings each time when you change the band. I got the single feed point for my 2-element cubical quad. And that means that I don't need to tune anything. I can just switch bands and listen straight away. So, okay, let me listen again. What's going on? If I can hear anything of these stations that have been spotted here on the cluster.
Please, station Italy. Again. Audio QSL DTS.
So before on April on 10 meters, my friend, okay? You're 5 and 7 near the city of Tel Aviv. Thank you very much and good evening and shalom from Israel, over. for X-ray.
Anyway, you guys, if you want me to go to any of the frequencies that you want to go, let me know. I can go from 80 meter up to 10 meter. I have no idea where I should go. 20 meters seems to be the most active, and 10 meters seems to be Israel. So that's one thing I can get. Charlie Tango, I think it's Portugal, if I'm not mistaken. Let me listen quickly. Yeah, so that's I think Portugal, but these stations that have been spotted here on 10 meters in America, I don't think I can get these. I don't think they are actually coming through, at least not here on 10. So there you go. Okay, let me just go to yeah, South Africa. Okay, let me see. That's 15 meter. Only one spot in the cluster here, so there's not much happening. 17 seems to be better. So it's pretty weird. There's not many spots in it.
Get always get good results from people with. Well, Dan, yeah, you pointing this way, I'm pointing over you. Yeah, we're pointing, because in a way we are pointing at each other. Perhaps that's about it. 73, good morning to you, my friend. Enjoy, and good afternoon from here. For me, it's about 45 minutes before 1:48 in the afternoon. That makes it easier. VE3YJK70RL. Thank you, Dan. 73. QRZDX, Victor Echo 3, Yankee, Japan.
Lima 1, Delta QQ.
Delta Alpha Charlie. Mike 6, Delta America Charlie from Victor Echo 3, Yankee Juliet. For your 5 and 5, good afternoon from Canada. Over.
Listen, guys, if any of you need anything, any wish, whatever, you let me know. Okay, I'm standby. I can do anything. So today I'll make it a little bit different as a live stream. But if you guys want to test anything, or your gear, or you want to go on certain frequencies, let me know. Maybe I'll just work that Victor Echo station first, and then just write me in the comment in the chat box, and I'll come to the frequency that you point me to. So no problem.
I've lost you, David. I've lost you. And if I'm doubling with you, I apologize. But you are in my log. I will leave you in the log. And nice to make this first contact. M6DAC, VE3YJ. 73, David. Thank you. Calling CQ, calling DX. Hello CQ, hello CQ, CQDX. From Canada, Victor Echo 3, Yankee, Japan.
Victor Echo 3, Yankee, Japan. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox, DX station.
DX station.
ON7, Oscar Foxtrot, is that correct?
A little correction, it's French fries at the end. We're from Belgium, so we eat a lot of French fries. Foxtrot, Foxtrot at the end there, John. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Foxtrot, Foxtrot. Operator name here is Kurt, like Kurt Cobain. Your 5 and 9er, beautiful signal into Brussels. Back to you there. I think it must be John. That's what I get here as a result on my software. Victor Echo 3 Yankee Juliet, Oscar November 7, Oscar Foxtrot, Foxtrot. Back to you, sir.
Back to you, sir.
Okay, well, I got the double F at the end, Foxtrot, Foxtrot. And what is your name, please?
John, my name is Kurt. Like Kurt Cobain. Kurt, Kilo Uniform Romeo Tango. You're coming in very beautifully. I was just tuning up and down the frequency and looking at the spots on the cluster. And you've been spotted by somewhere. And you're the highest signal I get here on 17 meter. I'm live streaming, so you can even listen and look for yourself how you sound here in Brussels. If you happen to have a computer nearby and click on the first picture that you'll find on my QRZ page, it will start the live stream, John. Back to you, Victor Echo 3, Yankee Juliet. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Foxtrot, Foxtrot. Over.
Okay, Kurt, thank you. And now I'm all straightened up here with a great call. ON7, Ocean, Fox, Victor Echo 3, Yankee Juliet. Nice to make your acquaintance, Kurt. My name is Rocco, Radio, Ocean, Charlie, Ocean. Although my middle name is John, but basically for ham radio, I decided to stick with Rocco. And you're 5 and 9 also. Excellent signal. They're in Brussels. And from Brussels, you're giving me a good signal here, Kurt, also. You're 5 and 9 also. VE3YJ, over.
Yeah, QSL, VE3YJ, ON7 OFF returning. Yeah, I'm just looking at your QRZ page, and it seems you have a nice antenna setup there. I don't know which one it is that you're using right now, but it seems to work pretty well. So I guess maybe you're using the stacked antenna. I'm not sure. Anyway, very good business. You're doing absolutely fine, and the signal report is excellent here. You're the only guy I can hear from North America at this stage. So congratulations. You're the king of North America and the queen of Canada. So it sounds great. Fantastic audio as well. Oh, I see Victor Papa 2 Echo Hotel, Echo India Hotel. He's also on the chat box now. So there you go. I might give him a call there as well. Fine business. Yeah, I'll let you go. I'll go down 5KC, see if I can work Victor Papa 2 Echo India Hotel. He's giving me a shout in the chat box here on the live stream. I'm just doing the live stream as we speak. Beautiful setup you have. You just have to tell me what's the antenna setup you're using at the moment, because there's multiple towers and multiple antennas. Over.
Yeah, I did a lot of changing here over the years, Kurt, with the antenna system. I believe at the moment I'm using just strictly straight 4-element, but I do have in that picture some of the photos I was doing some experimenting with horizontal and vertical stacking. Just hang on for a second. Kurt, hang on for a second. I need to answer this, but I know it's going to be short, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Victor Papa, what is it again?
All right.
Okay, there you go. He's
I'll
back
be here.
already.
Goodbye. Okay, I hope I wasn't transmitting. I was talking on the telephone. Anyways, I was doing some stacking, experimenting with horizontal and vertical stacking, and that may have been one of those pictures. Thank you for the flowers on the antennas. It's been a lot of fun. It's been very, very enjoyable, and it's nice to be able to put a signal on the air and make contacts, and just the best of both worlds, Kurt. Good luck in working the Victor Papa 2. I'm sure you'll have no problem. Thank you for the really, really nice contact. I look forward to another one, perhaps whenever the time we we go past each other's signal. ON70OFF from VE3YJ. Thank you, Kurt.
Yeah, QSL, Rocco, no problem. And yeah, you can listen back to the live stream later on. It's very easy to find it back on my YouTube channel if you type in my call sign, and you can listen how you sound. And before I go, if you want to do any test comparison between antennas and you're into it, let me know. This is the time of your life, because on the live stream you can listen back to it and you can see how it works. Before I go QSY to the other frequency, because I suggest to ERA to go to 145, because 135 seems to be a radar noise. Okay, Rocco 73. So let me know if you need to do any test for your gear on the live stream. Could be interesting. Take care. V3YJ ON7OFF. Over.
Thank you for the offer, Chris. Ordinarily, I would take you up on it, but for today, I'm going to decline. We'll do it another day. I know we'll find plenty of time. And thank you for offering. It's not too easy sometimes to find somebody to be able to give you some honest reports. So we'll leave it for now. And that not being the reason that band is open for you, it's open for me with a few people on here, and we'll give them an opportunity to make a contact with Canada. VE3YJ 73, God bless and be safe. Another day, Kurt, over.
73, you take care, Rocco. I'm going to QSY, and for the people who are interested, I'm going to QSY to 148. 148 seem to be free. Bye-bye.
Okay, if anybody wants to...
Okay, 148, is this frequency in use? One more time, is this frequency in use? Est-ce que la fréquence est occupée? Frequencia occupate? Okay, nothing heard. ERA, Victor Papa 2, Echo, India, Hotel. This is Oscar, November 7, Oscar, Foxtrot, Foxtrot. Do you copy? Go ahead, over. Okay, ERA, I'm not sure if you're here or not. I'm going to give it one more try, and then I'm going to go to 135 to the frequency you gave me in the chat box. Victor Papa 2, Echo, India, Hotel. This is Oscar, November 7, Oscar, Foxtrot, Foxtrot, giving a shout. Make your call again there, the CW station. Nothing heard. I'm going to give it one more try, and then I'll go to 135. Victor Papa 2, Echo, India, Hotel. This is Oscar, Nancy 7, Oscar, Fox, Fox. You copy, ERA?
Okay, sir. Oscar, November 7, Oscar, Foxtrot, Foxtrot. Good evening, Kurt. What's the propagation? So RNA, go over.
Yeah, propagation not so good today, ERA. You're just on top of the ground floor noise. So we need to polish the E layer. We need to polish the ionosphere. Over.
Okay. Let me try to beam. Okay, try to sound correct. Oscar, November 7, Oscar, Foxtrot, Foxtrot. Victor Papa 2, Hotel. Anybody on the beam, over?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, it seems to work now. Let me get rid of that little box there, because I opened the notebook box. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now it seems to work. Let me polish a little bit that, okay. I'm polishing the ionosphere, okay? So hopefully it's getting better.
Okay, well, polish it away. You're 5'7", and more. I was on the Y antenna when I first called you. I was looking at your page on YouTube channel. Good evening over there to your listeners. And so I decided to follow you up here. But 5-7 on the beam, 5-7 on the beam there. Yeah, I'll see you waving at me there, bro. Are you stretching or you waving? Victor Papa 2 Hotel, over.
No, I'm cleaning the ionosphere, don't you see? You know, it's a hard job. I'm cleaning that the mirror on top, so we get a little bit of a better propagation here. So I try to get that propagation going. So anyway, it seems to work pretty well, but sometimes we have to be patient and let the gods do the work, you know. So yeah, cool business. I hope everything is okay with you. I spoke with you to the other gentleman that I worked on Aguilera Island the other day. I don't remember his call sign now. I'll bring it back out of my logbook. So let me just first make a note of yours, because otherwise I forget to log you again. So yeah, everything is cool down this way. We're doing fine. I had a visit today from a very good friend, youth friend that I know for 20, 30 years. And he once helped me out with building my antenna, but he moved away to USA. His home QTH is in California, but he's a Belgian guy, and he came down to Belgium to visit his family. So I had a privilege to see him and meet him today. And he had he had a chance to come to the shack and work a few stations from the shack here. So he was very happy that he could work SSB. He lives in California, but his QTH is in a very bad location for radio. He's got a very big mountain right next to his home QTH, and he can barely work any station DX into Europe. So for him, it's very difficult. So he had a blast being here at my station. Okay, Ira, I hope everything is okay with you. You're 5 and 8, 5 and 7. Not too strong, but you're doing a fine trip. There's not much of a QRM here on the 17-meter today. Victor Papa 2, Echo India Hotel. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox. Over.
Okay, Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox, Victor Papa 2, Ignorant. So here's a lot more quiet on this one. That story went down. There was some Spanish guys on there. I was like, well, let me look at the screen and see where did you go. It's just a nice 86 here right now in Angola. Maybe about 30 Celsius. We're supposed to go down to 7 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. And today it's a beautiful clear skies. I mean, we had a little foggy shower this morning. And so it's nice skies here. And the you're starting to get, thanks to the 5-7 there, you're 5-7, 5-8%. You're 5, about, I would give you about the same thing. You keep going up for the 5-6 or 5-7 there. So you're sounding good. Your life stream is pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. If you're a father, I know you're a father. But happy belated Father Day. If you are, well, if you're not, I don't know. I think I saw someone in the shack earlier. I was scrolling. I tuned it out a little bit because I was looking at something else there. But I think I saw another gentleman there at the shack was doing something. I thought maybe he was talking to someone in Indonesia or something. I was like, wow, what's going on over there? But I guess it was someone in the shack. All right, back to you and good to talk to you, man. Oscar number 7, Oscar Foxtrot. Oh, by the way, I'm on my new 76 band. I had to give myself a birthday gift there, so I'm on the ICOM 76 band. 300 and, I don't know, whatever the 500 watts now so you can hear me. And I'm on the 2-element beam, 2-element beam by Chris Graham there. Oscar number 7, off. Victor Papa 2, I'm going to sell on to it, over.
QSL, Victor Papa 2, Echo India Hotel. This is the guy who turns his radio on and off 7 times in a week. Yeah, QSL there. There's a little bit of smudge there on that E layer. I don't know, on that ionosphere. So your signal is a little bit QS breaking. But yeah, nothing to worry about. I get you in the clear most of the time. Yeah, QSL. Yeah, the other gentleman that hijacked my station here is Wim, Kilo 6 Tango Echo. He's a very good friend of mine. And he came to my shack and he said, no, I'm going to use your radio because I want to be famous too with that live stream. So he he was, for him, an eye-opener. I just explained him how it works, and he found it a little bit complicated. So, because, I'm doing many things at the same time. I'm doing the live stream, but I have to do the routing of the audio. I've got two different devices. I'm using the FT480, the TS480, the Kenwood radio, as my daily driver for transmit, but I'm receiving through the SDR console, and he finds it pretty interesting how it works, but he couldn't really understand the schematics on how this setup is done here. So it was a little bit mind-boggling for him. Anyway, he had a blast. He had a few QSOs, nice QSOs. Unfortunately, we were looking at the cluster. We saw a station from India, and India is very hard to work from his home QTH from California. But unfortunately, the signal was too weak, so we couldn't work, or we couldn't barely hear the station from India from this QTH here. What is the most difficult region on planet Earth for you there, Ira? What is the most difficult region for you to work from your QTH? Over? QTH, over?
That is a very hard question because in the Caribbean region, with the water, the salt, and the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, we get hit from all over. I could be talking to you right now, all of a sudden, someone coming from the next planet. Australia's in there. It's pretty hard. I've heard Indonesia at times. I never had an Indonesia with a flag like that. They always are 5, 6, 5, 7. So I would say that's maybe the lightest station I've heard, Indonesia guys. But I can tell now, and I can say talk to them vice versa. But it's kind of hard to say because that almost seems like I talk over the planet now, right?
Yeah, QSL. Ira, I'm starting to get a little bit of a difficulties to copy you. Your signal is getting a little weaker. I don't know what's going on. I think we need to polish that. We need to polish that E layer again. So and the F layer. Okay, I'll let you go. It's been a pleasure to hear you again, there, Ira. I hope you have an enjoyable day there in Anguilla. So great stuff to hear you again. I'm very happy to make the new contact. You just keep Anguilla on the map of the world, okay, with your radio station, because everybody is willing to work your station for sure, because it's very unbalanced. 1 or 2 stations in Anguilla and millions of stations out in the rest of the big spaceship we're all walking on. 73s, Ira, take care. And God bless you, stay safe. Victor Papa 2 Echo India Hotel. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Foxtrot here in Brussels. I'll wave on the camera as well for you, mate up.
Okay, Foggy, good to see you again. Take care, Charlie. I will throw right back at you. And we got to pass the ISS right now, so I also do satellite. So, matter of fact, that's in my window right now. So, I'm switching radios. I'm going to jump up here and see if I can hear those guys on the ISS. Talk to you later. I'm always running something to George. Someone say God bless you, stay safe, and keep well, and empty your live streamers on your band. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Foxtrot, and Victor Papa 2, I can tell. Someone take care, good day, my friend.
73s, you take care and stay safe. This is ON7 OFF, we're standby. Bye-bye. Standby, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
ON7 OFF, Alpha Echo 1, Mike November.
Alpha Echo 1 Mike November, go ahead, good evening. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox, over.
Fox, over. Julian Oscar Echo. Just turned the radio on, was tuning around, didn't hear much up on 12 meters or even 10 meters, so came down here and heard a strong station, and it was you and your contact in Anguilla. So, but it sounds like he was QSY, so his radio S9 to 20 over, some QSB. So, OM7, OFF, Alpha Echo 1, Mike November.
Yeah, QSL, Alpha Echo 1, Mike November. Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox returning. Yeah, thank you very much for the nice report. I'm really surprised. I get you here 5 and 7. 57 is your report. It seems that my TX is working better than my RX today, Joe. So I don't know what's the reason. So I need to figure out what's going on. I've got a good receive on you, but it's not very loud. It's not very strong. I'm using about 700, 800 watts on the antenna. Maybe you have less power. That might be explaining the difference. Joe, fine business. Yeah, I'm live streaming, so you're on the live stream and the show as well, Joe. So you're doing absolutely fine with your setup. Just tell me, what is the antenna? What's the power? Back to you. Over.
Yeah, the antenna is a ZS6 BKW. It's about 20 meters high and oriented north. So my lobes on this band are landing, but I know that they're pretty narrow and probably mostly going out into empty space. But the rig is a Kenwood TS590FT and only 100 watts. So 100 watts into a doublet. No wonder you're thinking.
Okay. Okay, I hope you finished talking, because either the signal went completely down or maybe you finished talking. So I guess it's a dipole you're running, isn't it? Over? Yep.
G5RV, so it's about foot horizontally and then about 39 feet of ladder line connected directly to coax. So it works quite well. That 20, 17, oh, and 40 meters, of course. So not bad for no tuner. OS7, Alpha 1.
Yeah, QSL, Alpha Echo 1, Mike November. Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox returning. Yeah, no problem. Is that dipole pointed east-west or north-south, Joe? Because it also has, sort of a directional behavior. So is it pointed to me or is it pointed away from me? Over.
North and south, so on 20 and 40 meters, it is like a dipole. The radiation is due east and due west, and you're probably pretty much northeast, maybe a 40-some degree azimuth from me. And on this band, I think there's 4 main lobes, but I think they're maybe 23. So I had to look at I wanted it recently, but I've already forgotten. Because I'm almost 7 years old, so my torture is crap. Anyway, I'll let you go. Just wanted to get in and make a contact and tell you were doing a great job here. And maybe I will catch you when the conditions are a little bit better from Oscar November 7th. Foxtrot, Alpha 1.
Yeah, QSL, no problem. Thank you very much for the nice contact. I really appreciate there, Joe. I hope we can make another QSO in the future, even with better propagation, so that would be great. Thank you very much, Joe. You take care, and thanks for giving me a shout. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. Alpha Echo 1, Mike November. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Foxtrot, 73, so over.
Yeah, very good. I wanted to mention that I've worked and lived in Europe several times, and one of my favorite restaurants there is in Brussels. Many a good evening there. It's quite a lovely experience. 73, take care.
73, Joe. Thanks a lot for calling. I really appreciate. Alpha Echo 1, Mike November, Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox, we're standby. Okay, any other station before I move to another band? I'll probably go to 20 meters. This is ON7 OFF in Brussels, listening. signals are kind of weak or my ground floor noise is high. Make your call again. I don't know if you guys are following on YouTube as well, but the signals are too weak. Listen, I'm going to go QSY. I'm going to see what's going on 20 meters. So I'm going to move frequency. I'm going to go to 20 meters, and I'll probably go to, let's see, 2245, something like that, maybe 250. We'll figure it out. Where is around that region, right between 240 and 255, somewhere about that. ON7 OSF QSY 20 meters.
ON7 OSF from WA1 Golf Zulu Yankee.
Oh, WA1, go ahead.
Yeah, it's WA1 Golf Zulu Yankee. You've got a fine signal here. I'm not sure if I've got your call sign correct. My name is Rich, short for Richard. I'm located in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, northeast Florida. And I'll take a closer look at the S meter. Repeat your call sign. ON7, I think it's is it SF? This WA1 Golf Zulu Yankee.
Yeah, QSL, Whiskey Alpha 1 Golf Zulu Yankee. Yes, that is correct. You have my call sign correct. Oscar November 7, Oscar Foxtrot Foxtrot. And the personal name here is Kurt. I was about to QSY because the signals are too faint, but you're really in the clear, Rich. I have you very strong here. The name here is Kurt, so K-U-R-T. I'm located 20 kilometers, 15 miles southeast of Brussels, in the city, or outside of the city of Brussels in the suburbs. Richard, back to you there. Rich, Whiskey Alpha 1 Golf Zulu Yankee. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox. I'm also live streaming. So if you happen to go to the QRZ page and click on the first link, it will start the live stream. Go ahead, Rich, over.
Okay, very good, Kurt. Well, very nice to work you. You're 5/9, beautiful signal, very nice audio. And I'm running with 1,500 watts to a 4-element step IR at about 18 meters. We have a warm day today, 30 degrees C. And a little bit of a breeze, but hot is hot, so it's good to be indoors. This is a new QTH for us, Kurt. I moved here in October, not very far. I moved from Jacksonville, maybe a couple of kilometers to the east. The biggest difference being I have no antenna restriction, so I was able to put up a tower and the 4-element step IR, which you can see on my QRZ page. Also, this property is surrounded by salt water and marsh on the east, west, and south. So we have very few neighbors going out in those directions, and we're only about 2 kilometers from the Atlantic Ocean. So it's a very good ham radio location. And I'm looking at your photos, very interesting website, Kurt, that you have. I've been to Belgium many years ago. When I was a student, I was studying the French language and living with a family, a Belgian family, whose first language was French. But they put me in Mechelen, Malin. So, save for the family, if I went outdoors, they were speaking Flemish. ON7OFF from WA1GZY.
WA1GZY, ON7OFF returning. Wow, okay, that's cool. How long ago were you here in Belgium? Because, I'm also a little bit of a figure over here. I'll explain you in my next transmission. But how long has it been you've been here?
I would think 1960, maybe 69, 68, 69, in that period. I spent 12 weeks in Cannes, southern France, 12 weeks in Luxembourg City, and 12 weeks in Mechelen over the years. Over?
Okay, yeah, that's before I was even born. I was still in my dad's body before I moved to my mom's body and before I got my body. Now it was before I was even born. I'm born in 72, so I'm 50 years old. No, but I thought maybe it was more recent, that you came to Belgium. I'm a perfumer, and I sell the perfumes in the city center of Brussels. So, and that's where people, they kind of know me. Yeah, I'm live streaming, Rich. So you're doing about, what is it, 3.64 kilohertz of bandwidth, I see. So I just opened the bandwidth. So I got the full audio experience of your station there, Rich. And it sounds awfully good. So beautiful audio that you're pushing with your station. And the signal report is good. You're 5.9, a steady 5.9, sometimes 5.95, 5.910. Without a problem. And yeah, you seem to be in a very good location for radio. The only thing I would be very concerned of is floodings, because there's a lot of water around you. So I hope you don't suffer from any kind of problems regarding the floodings, because when you're in a low location and there's a heavy rain or a storm, you might just get flooded. Back to you, Rich. Whiskey Alpha 1, Golf Zulu Yankee, Oscar November 7, Oscar Foxtrot Foxtrot.
And you're absolutely right, Kurt, about the potential for flooding. It is a flood plain, so while this is a new home, we started building in October of 2020, and I moved in last October. I did take the flood insurance. If you look at QRZ in the satellite view and zoom in close, you'll see the property was all underwater, and the seller was a civil engineer, and he obtained approval, which is very hard to do, to fill in this land. He brought in many truckloads of earth and made it a buildable island. And then those two ponds in front of the house, he dug those deeper and used that earth as well to make this a buildable island. So as a consequence, when we were building the home, I have the home built up on 3 concrete blocks higher than the code would require. So just in case there is a flood, it's not likely that the water would get up to the first floor living area. So you can imagine my ground is very, very good. I'm using 10-foot ground rods, so about 5.5 feet of each ground rod is always in water, so it would be a very low resistance ground. And the antenna base normally would be 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot deep. But in this case, with the high water table, the engineers came up with an alternative 8 foot by 8 foot by 4 foot deep. So that's not as deep, but it's twice the concrete filled with rebar. So it's a freestanding tower. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. That's where my W1 call comes from. But we moved to Florida in 1999. I retired in 2016 from corporate marketing. I worked with toiletries, grooming aids, shampoos, soaps, and about half the years with food products, and would put together the annual business plan for North America. And in fact, we also exported to 90 countries globally. Large consumer products companies like Gillette, Johnson & Johnson, some of which you may have heard of, Procter & Gamble, and so forth. So now I'm 69. My XYL is also a licensed radio amateur, but she's not so active on the bands. So from my studies at high school and university, je parle français, Also, I took it upon myself to complete some levels of Spanish. Yo hablo español, pero lo que tengo es otro asunto. So I can speak in French and Spanish, and I do a little bit of German, Italian, Portuguese, Russian, Japanese, but that's very, very small. Back to you, Kurt. I wonder what your profession is. KOM7 OFF from Whiskey Alpha 1 Golf Zulu Yankee.
Yeah, QSL, Whiskey Alpha 1 Golf Zulu Yankee. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Foxtrot returning. Absolutely fantastic, very interesting information, and you have a well-earned retirement at the moment, so it's good that you have the radio. At least you have a window to the world, and you are still in contact with other people. You know, it just sets your mind free. And you know, I use the radio just to communicate with all kinds of people, and it's always interesting to see and hear what they're doing, what they have been accomplishing, and also, you know, meeting people that have all kinds of professions. I have a special profession. I'm a perfumer, so I design perfumes and make perfumes, and that's what I'm doing for a living, and I'm selling them on the handicraft market in Brussels mainly, because it's my retail outlet there. That's why I was asking if you have been to Brussels or to Belgium recently, because I've been there for 23 years already, and I'm doing this job for quite a long time. And a lot of people come in front of my shop. They come and buy perfumes, and a lot of them, they even don't know that I'm a ham operator. So if another ham operator comes to my shop, they probably don't realize that I'm a ham operator. And it happened already a few times in the past, Rich, that I met people that, you know, I have been able to talk to, or vice versa. I talk with people who know me. So that was the reason why I was asking you if you've been to Belgium recently. Yeah, regarding the QTH, yeah, I can definitely see that it's a very wet and, how can I say, very low altitude area with a lot of flooding potentials. So, yeah, I would probably be pretty worried if you are living in an area like that because of the flooding potential that you have. So it might just, you know, if it only happens once in a lifetime, it can ruin your house, or, you know, and that's the whole point, you know. It's something that you have to keep in mind. So definitely, for me, I'm always I'm keen on living on an altitude, on top of a hill or a mountain. And the other negative thing about living on an altitude is wind levels that can be excessively high. So there you are. You know, everything has a positive and a negative side. You see what I mean? So anyway, back to you there, Rich. And great stuff, very interesting. I'm 50 years, so I'm just much younger than you. I am only 50 years old. And yeah, we've been doing radio for 33 years. I was, 35 years. I was stuck for 33 years on the 11-meter band, and I got licensed about 2 years ago. So I finally made the step to be licensed, and I went straight for the Class A license. I didn't want to do the struggle to go through the other license schemes. I wanted to go straight for the full license. Back to you, Rich. Whiskey Alpha 1 Golf Zulu Yankee. Oscar November 7. Oscar Fox, over.
Perfect, Kurt. And yes, you have a very interesting profession. I used to work with international flavors and fragrances. They would come up with different fragrances for our shampoo line. At one point, I worked for a company. We produced the miniature shampoos and conditioners that you find in hotels, cruise lines, and airlines. So you know, each hotel likes to reflect their own unique brand and hospitality. So I had 60 brands under license. We would produce them in miniature, or we could custom formulate a shampoo product with a different fragrance and so forth and so on. So I think you may know of international flavors and fragrances that we worked closely with. My background was product marketing, so it often included advertising and publicity on television, radio, direct mail, and newspapers, journals, magazines. Today, those working still deal with all of that, plus the social media. You probably have experience with the web pages, and you have Google Analytics, and you have all of these data tracking information sources to try to better understand the consumer or your potential customers and client base. So the technology keeps changing, doesn't it? But we enjoy travel. We haven't traveled on any big trips since December of 19 due to the COVID. We're waiting for that to settle down. But I would love to return to Belgium and the continent, and we can look forward to that, I hope, in future months to come. Looking at your website, I see you have a cubicle quad. Years ago, I had a 3-element cubicle quad when I lived in Kentucky. I've moved to various locations over the years as I would change employers, but I did settle in Florida in 1999. So this is the permanent QTH now for me. So I see you. I think I see your XYL, your wife, and I wonder if you have any children. Perhaps they're interested in the amateur radio. I was first licensed when I was 14 years old, and like yourself, I have, I think, always been active on the bands, working my way from the beginning license, the novice class, up to the extra class. I completed the extra class, which is the top tier, when I was 16 years old. Back to you, Kurt. ON70FF from WA1GZY.
Yeah, QSL. If you click on the first link, Rich, on the page, it will start the live stream, so you can see how you sound here, and you can listen how you sound here. You're super strong here today. Absolutely fantastic, phenomenal signal into Brussels. So no need to polish the ionosphere even more, because it's working as a charm with your station there. My wife is from Thailand, so she's from Hotel Sugar, and I do actually travel every year. With the COVID, I couldn't go, so I missed 1 year. But I travel every year to Thailand, so I am also active sometimes from Thailand. I've got a friend who is actually a CB radio friend, but sometimes I'm using his gear and making some contacts from there as well, which is kind of fun because, you know, you're on the other side of the planet and you kind of hear and experience the radio from a different perspective. So it's definitely worth, doing that as well. It's for me always a blast if you can go there and listen how the European stations are coming through over there on the other side, Rich. I've been on and off with the radio. I had some times that I had a burnout, and then I had other times that it was okay. But because I was 33 years stuck on the 11 meter, it went with the cycle of the different propagation cycles. So when the propagation cycle was about to die out, I probably took down the antenna and forgot about the radio. But once that propagation starts to kick off again, there's that virus, that just starts to scratch your brain and says, you should put up the antenna again, and there we go. We're back on the air. So I've been following 3 cycles I think right now. This is the 4th. I always have a blast on every single cycle, Rich. But yeah, we need that propagation. No propagation, you cannot do anything. I was just talking to another gentleman this morning from the United States. He has a dream antenna. He has a 40-meter antenna, so that's 160-foot high tower, and he has different antennas on different altitudes, so he can switch between them. And he set up the entire system about 5 years ago, and he told me I was very disappointed 5 years ago because there was no propagation. I thought even with this very huge, big antenna, I was able to work the world even without the propagation, but that is not true. So you need that skip, no skip, no fun. Back to you, Rich. Whiskey Alpha 1, Golf Zulu Yankee, Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox.
Absolutely, yeah. I see the streaming now, and that's very very interesting. And there are some super stations all around the world. One of them is KE5EE. I don't know if that was the station you were talking about, but he has quite an antenna farm, and he'll work the world on 160 meters. He has antennas for all bands, stacked beams, just incredible. But I'm very pleased with what we have here now. The antenna performs very well. We're close to the ocean. It's a quiet location. All of the utilities are under the ground, so we don't have any noisy power poles. And while there is potential for flooding, hopefully between the way we've constructed the home and the insurance that we have, if there's a problem, we'll be okay. I am currently constructing a boat dock. That will be a new pastime. I purchased a 19-foot boat, and the boat dock is quite long. It's 400 feet. You can see some photos on QRZ. The reason for that is we have tidal variances. So at low tide, the water is very, very shallow. At high tide, it goes up to about, maybe 4 meters. No, not 4 meters, 2 meters. 2 meters at high tide. And we're just a few hundred, maybe we're 75 meters from the intracoastal waterway. That is a deep saltwater channel that runs from South Florida all the way up the east coast of the U.S. So once the dock is completed, we can do some motor boating on this waterway, and I think that would be interesting. I'll also have VHF radios for the amateur repeaters, as well as the DMR, so I can work repeaters all over the world, in addition to the marine channels if we need to get some help on the water. So we've planned this out, I think, in a good way. And the closest neighbor I have is well across the street to the north. She did not like my antenna. She actually came over and was screaming and yelling at me. She said, "You put up that monstrosity," that's what she called it, "just to annoy me," which I thought was an odd comment. And I thought about it. I said, "You're absolutely right. Have a good day." So I won't be invited to her holiday parties, I'm sure. But she's far across the street, and I had checked out the legal requirements many, many months ago. This is an interesting hobby. You talk about meeting interesting people like yourself. In 1992, I had the pleasure of and privilege of talking with JY1. That was King Hussein of Jordan, now a silent key. So I have his QSL card. In addition to that, a station in Mexico City who I'd worked before heard me during that QSO, and he recorded my conversation with His Majesty. And he contacted me a week later, and he sent me the recording. So I have the QSL card and the recording of my conversation with Juliet Yankee 1, which I have since converted from a cassette to a CD for preservation. Back to you, Kurt. ON70FF from WA1GZY.
Yeah, QSL. Well, it's a funny story about your neighbor there who is not going to invite you to her parties. The thing is, the reason why I actually took my exam is because I was about to set up my 4-element wire Moxon antenna for the 11-meter band just about 2 years and a half ago. And I was preparing my antenna, and I put it in the garden. I just wanted to check out if the SWR is still okay, and I was about to check out everything is okay. And the house next door is actually belonging to us, but we rent it out. And it's a military guy, and he said, no, you cannot do that. I don't want this bloody antenna in front of my nose. But it's our garden. It's our property. So, and he said, yeah, I'm going to call the radio police because he's from the army, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff that was going on. And that was actually the reason, and came along the beginning of the pandemic. So we were stuck at home. I couldn't go to the market. Everything was closed. And I said, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to lose like 2 months, 3 months maybe. This thing is going to last. So I cannot wait that long. So I need to do something. So I'm going to learn for my exam, and we'll see what happens. So I finally ended up in doing my, learning for my exam. And the first moment that I could pass the test, I went to do the pass test. So I had 2 months and a half to learn everything. So, it's not an easy task, I have to confess. It was pretty hard. All the things that you need to learn, and the formulas that you need to learn. And, it's not an easy study, especially for the Class A license. If it's a lower class license, it's still doable. But, I had to I had to learn again how it worked with the cosines and the sines and all these formulas. So I was banging my head against the wall. But finally, I went to do the test, and I went through right away. So I was very happy that I got the license. So I put up my middle finger to my neighbor, because once I had my license, I could do whatever I want. And then he told me that you cannot put the antenna, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And I told him, yeah, listen, this is not a permanent antenna, so it's not something that is a permanent thing. I can take it down as much as I want. It's on a pivoting, it's what is it called, a crack-down antenna that is not on concrete. It's just on the ground, and it's attached with cables, gay wires, and all that kind of stuff. Guy wires. And yeah, well, anyway, keep the story short. He was not very happy, and he was not, very keen on the fact that I had that antenna. But finally, it's like everything. First, you got the shock. Then they have to accept that things are changing, and then finally they forget about it. And all that scenery that you have heard and seen, all for nothing. All for nothing, because, after a few weeks, they're used that there is an antenna in there, and it's damn beautiful. It's an art construction. The 2-element cubical quad, if by nightfall, when the sky gets like orangey, when the night is falling, it looks like a piece of art made. So I just love it. It's just so beautiful. It's a piece of art, and now I just keep on claiming it's a piece of art. So there you go. Just enjoy my art, HI. So that's what I tell him right now. And now he's subsided. He's calm, and he talks again with me. So maybe one day she'll start to talk with you again. The thing is, these people, they don't know what you're doing. They don't understand. And as you said, you've been able to talk to the King of Jordan. I have made a very interesting QSOs in the past as well, with people that are in the outback in Australia, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I have my share, and you meet a lot of interesting people. By the way, the former king of Thailand was also an M operator, so there you are. But I'm not sure if he was active on HF. Back to you there. Whiskey Alpha 1, Golf Zulu Yankee, ON7 OFF. Over.
ON70 FFWA1GZY. Excellent copy. Just 5.9 continuously, Kurt. So you're doing a wonderful job. And yeah, the other neighbors, and they're on the north side of the street. They've all been fine, and they're friendly. So you can't please everybody. But this woman is, I think there's something wrong with her. The next day, after screaming, she threw a bag of rubbish, garbage, on my property, just out of spite. So I wasn't going to play games. I picked it up, I put it away, and I told my wife, I said, she's going to pay for that bag of garbage that she tossed on my land. We live on a private single-lane road. The seller of this property developed this part of the street, and it's a single lane. As a result, there is a city requirement, a 25-foot easement from the center of the road, 25 feet onto her property and 30 feet onto mine, so that first responders, an ambulance, or a fire truck may need more room than a single lane. Well, she had lined up big boulders, rocks, all along the edge of the road. And you know, that was to block trucks from making a mark on her green grass right up to the road. And she had lined up these boulders, maybe there were 40 of them, big rocks, not small. And so I took a picture of the rocks, and especially the rock that was in front of the fire hydrants. You're not allowed to block fire hydrants at any time, but I showed not only the rock blocking the fire hydrant, but all the rocks along the edge of her property on the road. And I sent that into the city, and I said, this is a violation, and it is a safety hazard, because ambulances, first responders, fire trucks might not be able to access this road and the other homes. And by the next, by noon, same day, I noticed a company coming out, picking up all of these big boulders. And you know, she had to pay for that. The next day, the fire marshal, the head of the fire department, came out to inspect. And he sent me a thank you note. He said, let me know if those rocks return. So I'm sure I'm off of her list. But I wasn't going to play those games. Everything that I do here is legal and proper. So I had tolerated the boulders. I didn't say anything about it, but when she started to play those games, I told my wife, that's it. It's now, she's going to pay, which she did. ON7 OFF from WA1GZY.
Yeah, QSL. Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is, they don't know what this is all about. They have no understanding on what is ham radio and what we're doing and why we're doing it, you know. So they even don't understand that their smartphone they're using, their Wi-Fi, they're using the Bluetooth, everything. It all has to do with radio waves, and it all has been designed and made, contributed by, the knowledge that we all gather on the ham radio band. So people, they don't realize, but all this technology that has to do with wireless technology, it's mainly made by, ham radio fanatics like us. Now, I'm not the technical guy. I'm not that kind of a guy, but, there are many of these amateur radio guys who are interested in experimenting, and all these things are coming from the ham radio world, so, and it's also about, the social contact and being able to talk to people all over the world, communicate without using third-party equipment like we do with the internet. And one big thing about ham radio, whenever there is a blackout or whatever happens, like a war, we will be the guys they will be looking at, because they will need to communicate. So it's something that most people don't understand and don't know what we're all doing. So I went to a POTA activation just a few days ago, I think maybe like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and I set up antenna right next to that park on the public ground, and I was starting to make some cues. So suddenly I had the forest ranger coming over and telling me, yeah, you have to go, you cannot do this here. I told him, listen, this is Parks on the Air. We just try to promote the parks, and we try to communicate. And I explained him as good as and as bad as I could, what is ham radio. And at the end of the conversation, I told him, listen, you're in charge. Well, I'll pack up my stuff and I'll go. And I'll go to another park. And he said, no, you can stay. You can stay. I understand now what you're doing. So I told him, we have zero impact on nature. I'm not even going into the forest. I'm just at the edge of the forest, because I don't want to interfere with nature that's inside the forest, the birds that are maybe breeding and all that kind of stuff. So finally, he ended up telling me, oh, you can stay. So, it all has to do about how you communicate to someone. So sometimes, it's you've got stubborn people, and they stay stubborn for the rest of their lives. But if it's a person who has a little bit of a few cells in the head, they will start to understand, and they will understand what we're doing there. Rich, back to you. Whiskey Alpha 1, Golf Zulu Yankee, Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox, over.
Well, you're absolutely right, and sometimes people are willing to listen. Sometimes I think she was more upset that I built a home, and where she used to have just a view of the nature, now my home is across the street. I think if she felt strongly about that, she should have purchased the land herself. So, in any event, she is far enough away to where it makes no difference to me. Her house faces east, and if she were to look out any of her house windows, she would not see my antenna or tower. She has to make an effort to turn to the south in order to see my antenna. But some people you can't please no matter what. So we leave that to others. Meanwhile, we've met some very nice neighbors also on the same street. But it is my number one pastime, and I've always been active from age 14 on. And I'd always dreamed about having a property that I could erect antennas without any restrictions, and this is it. So this is the permanent QTH now, and is really ideal for the hobby. I have enough room for my 160 meter antenna. I've never had a garden large enough to work on 160 meters. The antenna that I'm using there is from Australia. It's made by Bushcom, and it's the BBA 1KDE model. It's 177 feet long. Each leg of the inverted V configuration consists of 3 wires in parallel, separated by spreaders. The 2 wires on the edges, left and right, at the center terminate in a 9-to-1 balance. Then those 2 wires on each leg at the far end of each leg join the middle wire, which at the center terminates in a 2200 ohm resistor. As a result, this antenna operates from 160 meters through 10 meters without a tuner, a single 50 ohm coaxial feed line. I use this antenna for 160, 80, and 60 meters. The step IR then takes over on 30 and 40 meters as a rotatable dipole, and 4 elements, 20 through 10, 6 elements on 6, and then on top of the step IR Yagi, we have 2 satellite antennas. So it gives me complete antennas for 160 through 70 centimeters. So I have a big smile on my face, Kurt. And I'm fortunate my XYL has her license, and though she's not active, she knows all about this and has been very accommodating, no objections. When we built the home, we had 2 master bedroom closets, and I said, I'm a professional loafer now. I don't need much room, so I'll share a closet with the XYL. I only need a little bit. And I said, take the second closet on the exterior wall and give me a window, some fan, some power outlets, some lights. That's my ham shack. So I've moved into the closet, Kurt. It's 10 by 12, and you can see a picture of the ham radio closet or the room on my QRZ site on the side. You can see a cable box that has all of the lightning arresters where all of the cables go through, in addition to a ground rod there. And then the 3 legs of the tower are also have a ground rod. So tell me, I asked a little earlier, do you have any children, Kurt? ON7OFF WA1GZY.
Yeah, QSL, W1GZY, ON7OFF. No, I don't have any children. I am childless on purpose. There's a few reasons, not medical or something, but I never wanted to have children, so I have no children, and I have no intention to have any children in the future. There's 8 billion people walking on this planet, almost 8 billion, so I think Mother Earth has enough of us. So that's another story, but negative on the children. Yeah, that's a good thing with the closet, so there you go. It seems to work pretty well, and you got a very big radio there. I'm looking at your radio. I'm very modest in my radio gear. I'm just using the TS480 by Kenwood, which is normally supposed to be in a car. And then I've got the cheapest microphone I can get. It's the C3 by Behringer with a Xenix 502 panel. And then, well, my amplifier is the OM Power 2000 Plus, giving about 800 watts, 900 watts at the moment here on the 17 meter band, yeah. And the antenna is at 2 elements, so, but because I was too stingy to buy a SDR capable radio, I had that SDR play laying around, and I started to interconnect it with the radio, and now I've got the full spectrum overview with the SDR play, and I'm using only my TS480 as transceiver, so it's not. I'm not using its RX capabilities. I'm doing the complete RX through the SDR play. So it's kind of a setup. I had a visit just earlier on from my friend K6 Tango Echo, and he told me he probably won't be able to set it up because it's a little bit complicated, especially also with the live stream. So, but it seems to work pretty well. I'm very happy with it. The performance is top notch. And whatever I hear on the band, I can work. So I don't want to be the strongest station either, but yeah, I want to be readable for sure because it makes the quality context even better. You know, you can have a longer conversation when you've got a stable signal. Back to you there. Let me see what was okay, yeah, that was that I wanted to say. Okay, Rich, back to you. Whiskey Alpha 1, Golf Zulu Yankee, Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox, over.
Okay, perfect, Kurt. Yeah, you're 20 over 9, that last transmission, so it's getting even stronger, 20 over 9. So you've got a big signal and doing a great job. I'll give you a demonstration. I'm going to make the step IR. I'm going to turn the director into the reflector, and the reflector will become the director. You know, the antenna self-adjusts. As I tune the transceiver, the elements expand and contract, so it's always optimally tuned. So I'm going to hit the button that says 180 degrees. That will reverse the reflector and director, and then I'll come back to the forward position. You can see the front to back. So look at your S meter now, and I'm going to hit the 180 button and come back in 2 seconds, and then come back to the forward. So stand by 2 seconds. All right, that's enough time. This is the front to back. So the director turned into the reflector, and the reflector turned into a director, instead of having to wait to rotate the antenna all the way 180 degrees. Now I'm going to come back to the forward position. Okay, and now we're back to the forward position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So you should have seen a difference, Kurt. Over?
Yeah, definitely. You know, Richard, you can always review the live stream. So if you need to do any other test, this is the time of your life. If you want to change the audio settings of your radio, because I can go very wide in my receive, just do it now, because there will be a recording, and the recording is coming straight off the SDR console software into the YouTube channel, so it's going to be very, very clear. Okay, summarize the test that you did. I had a 16 dB. When he started telling me that you were going to switch over, I kept my eye on the signal meter. I had 16 dB of signal on you, and 9 plus 16, when you turned it, or when you just inverted or turned it 180 degrees, if I can call it that way, you went down to signal strength 6 to 7. The highest signal I saw was 7. That's it. So there's a huge, absolutely tremendous signal difference between the, there's a very good front-backward rejection on your antenna. I don't have that comfort, not with the 2-element cubical quad. If I would have a 3-element, I think, yes, then it would be much more important. But no, not that huge. Back to you, Rich. Whiskey Alpha 1, Golf Zulu Yankee, Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox, over.
Yes, well, thank you for that comment. I've had a number of antennas over the years, a 2-element quad, 3-element quad. I've had other beams, and I've had a 2-element stepper, a 3-element stepper, and now this 4-element stepper. The big difference being the boom length doubled from 16 feet to 32 feet, and we have the 4th element. And I notice a substantial difference in the pattern. The pattern is much sharper going from the 3 elements to 4 elements. I knew it would be better, but I'm very pleased with how well it performs. On top of that, I'm up higher. I could not have a tower before. If you look on my QRZ site and scroll down, you'll see my previous QTH. I had the 3-element stepper on my rooftop, and that was at about 35 feet versus 60 feet. So we're up higher, a little better location, but a much bigger antenna. So again, this was kind of a dream for me to settle into a new QTH that would accommodate this wonderful, wonderful hobby that we both enjoy so much. Earlier you mentioned, and by the way, we don't have any children either. Same reasons. We have lots of nieces and nephews, from my brother and sister and so forth. That's enough. And they're welcome to visit. I wonder if you've heard of or worked with the international flavors and fragrances in your perfumery. Over?
Yeah, QSL. Yeah, some of the ingredients that I'm using for my perfumes are coming from IFF. So, of course, you've got Godiva and you've got IFF, so they are manufacturing the chemicals that we as perfumers we use and starts to mix. So I'm just mixing these ingredients. I just keep on telling people, I'm not the farmer, I'm the chef. I'm cooking the food, so I'm cooking the perfumes. And that's basically what I'm doing. And yes, of course, some of my ingredients are coming straight from, not straight, but through a wholesaler from IFF. So it's a huge company with thousands of people working there, and they're doing so many things for sure. Yeah, Rich, I decided just to talk about the children. I went on traveling when I was in my mid-20s, and I did a 6-month career break where I went throughout Southeast Asia. And I was just amazed on how many children were walking around when I was there. At that moment, I had no relationship. And when I came back from that 6-month tour, I wanted to learn more about, how come, here in Europe you barely see children. Most of the people are fully grown. But when you're in these third world countries, like 70-80% of the people walking around, they're all children or younger than the age of 18. And I started to dig into it, and then I followed a very beautiful training on internet from Al Bartlett. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that guy. He pointed out that that we're heading for a catastrophe, and I think it's where we're heading to, as for sure. So I decided, whatever happens, when you were born, and you're 68, right? When you were born, there was maybe like 3 billion people on planet Earth. There's close to 8 billion. So somewhere along the road this year, it's gonna the number is gonna jump to 8 billion. And it's going to be announced in the news, but I mean the exponential growth is unbearable. It's impossible to keep it. So in your lifetime, the world population has increased by 2, or even more than 2. So imagine you've got a baby right now. That baby, if everything stays the way it is right now, and this baby is going to be like the age of 50 or even 45 because the growth is just going faster and faster. What do we expect to have 16 billion people? So then I learned very clearly that anything that would stop, decrease, or invert the population growth is actually considered as inhumane. I started to realize that, boy, if I would have children, they're going to suffer because they're going to live in an era where there's going to be a decline and not knowing what could be the cause of the decline. So it's either going to be a war, or it's going to be a famine because of food shortages, or it's going to be pandemics or whatever. So, and I think we all see this happening right now in front of our eyes. But people, they don't realize, and they're afraid to talk about this stuff. They don't talk about it. They keep on telling that we should save on our ecological footprint. But what the heck are they talking about? If we have to save on our ecological footprint because we can have more babies and more people on planet Earth, it doesn't make any sense because you're just postponing the problem. You're just putting the problem more in the future, and there's going to be more people suffering. I just compare things like what happened on Easter Island. You know, if you are very familiar with Easter Island and you know the history, I think we're heading the same way. So people, they don't realize, and people keep on thinking like, you know, technology is going to solve everything. Come on, you cannot grow more. You know, look at the technology we have and look at what's happening. There's just a shortage now on energy because of the Ukraine crisis there. So I expect a serious food crisis by the end of the year. People, they don't realize, but I just look at what's happening. Even here in my region, some of the farmers, they don't have enough money to actually sustain the fertilization or to pay the fertilization of their fields. So they just keep the fields open. They don't grow anything. And this is just here in Belgium. So how is it these days in these, how could I say, countries like, Asian countries or countries where people are poor, where they cannot buy enough fertilization products to put on the field. So, it doesn't look too good, Rich, but that's my story. And I'd never talk about this on the radio, but it's a very important and interesting subject that people should be aware of. And apparently they don't spread the news because it's against the narrative. Whiskey Alpha 1, Golf Zulu Yankee, Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox, over.
ON7 OFF WA1GCY. Yeah, I agree with you. It is a global problem, and the governments are not helping. There are too many divisions. There are divisions within our country here. There are divisions globally. Look at the tragedy right now. We have with inflation and the fuel prices. Fuel prices here have gone up by 50%. We also have the tragedy with our brothers in the Ukraine. All of my grandparents, all four grandparents, came to the USA in 1921 and 1923 from the Ukraine, from near Kiev, to find a better life. At the time, that territory near Kiev was part of Russia, but there were terrible pogroms, and they had to get out to save their lives. So now we have. It's really shocking to me that we would have another European war in this day and age, when you would think where Russia spans 11 time zones, that would be enough for them. But that's creating a food crisis. You know, the grains are being blocked, and I don't know what the solution will be. But I'm hopeful that our NATO partners will put an end to this, support the Ukraine, and we need to get on with building a better world, not tearing it apart. So children growing up are going to find a different set of needs as we move forward into the decades. But in any event, I'll get off that soapbox. But I went to New York, and I was able to look up the immigration papers of my grandparents. I have a picture of the steamship they came up on, and at the time they were not permitted to bring out any currency. And my grandfather had some Russian silver dollars. And what she did was she melted a few of them, a few that she had, into spoons. Those she was able to take out. So we have a couple of spoons here in our house today that they had created out of what used to be the Russian silver dollars. So there's a brief history. ON7OFF WA1GZY.
Yeah, QSLW A1GZY ON7OFF returning. Yeah, that's an interesting one with the spoons there. That's very clever. Very, very clever. I never thought about that one. So, I know that back in the old age, you were not allowed to buy coins, silver coins, and bring it back or bring it into USA, because I'm following on YouTube some of these. They call them stackers, those who are collecting silver and gold and stacking them, trying to save them. So pretty interesting sometimes, these videos. I look at a lot of stuff there on YouTube. I'm barely looking at mainstream media because it's so disconnected from reality that, it's just a narrative that you hear and all this propaganda. When the war started back in Ukraine, I was in Thailand. As I told you, my wife is from Thailand, so I'm in January and February in Thailand. I speak fluently Thai, and I was listening to the news over there in Thailand, and it was completely different from the news that I could hear over here in Europe. So I'm not going to blame neither the Russians or the Ukrainian. I just blame the politicians. They just want to have this war, and they just enjoy doing this war. And I think it's maybe just a setup, because the whole thing is that they don't know how to solve the problem of this inflation. They have been having this issue for quite some time, and I think it's all orchestrated stuff that's happening. But they're cutting in their own finger and their own blood, so they're just making it miserable for everybody, but also for themselves. I was talking with my brother just earlier on, and they were talking about he's in Germany. He's actually traveling to Croatia, and he was listening to the news in Germany, and they were talking about the Green Party telling that they were going to start up the coal electricity coal centrals again. So they want to start up the coal electricity again because the gas might be shut off from Russia. So there you go. What a loss of face of the Green Party, Anyway, I just tell you, Richard, it's a very complex thing. It's not an easy subject. I can talk hours and hours about this and probably give you insight about things that are completely different from what other people are saying, or I already thought that maybe I should start a YouTube channel and try to explain how much that I know and what I think. It's a lot of logical thinking, Rich. There's a lot of logical thinking behind it. So anyway, I tell you one thing, Rich, you and me, we've done what we had to do. We have no children, so if there is one thing they should all respect is the fact that we didn't want children. I on purpose didn't want children. I had a relationship breaking because I didn't want children, because suddenly that alarm, biological alarm of the lady started to go off and she wanted to have children, but I didn't want, because I don't want to have a responsibility for children who are going to live in an era that's going to be very difficult for them. If you have children, you only want your children to have a better life than yourself. So if by chance you can figure out that you cannot give a better life to your children, why do you want to have children? And that is actually the reason why I never wanted to have children, because I know that they're not going to have the comfort, the freedom, and the type of lifestyle that I have been having and what I'm having right now in the future, because of what I'm trying to explain to you about this overpopulation and growth and everything that comes along with it. So that's it's a huge story, Rich. I like to talk about it, but it's a controversial subject. So some people have another opinion, but I'm just looking at my opinion from a very, very objective way. I just think about the figures, the numbers, and logical thinking. WA1, Golf Zulu Yankee, Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox, over.
Well, I think you're a very interesting person, and I think you have some interesting comments to share. I'm very impressed with your command of English, but I'm even more so if you can speak the Thai language. How did you learn the Thai language? That's I would think that's many times more difficult, Kurt. Over.
Yeah, every single word is different, Rich. Every single because there's also a tone language. But I started going to Thailand for my business about 20 years ago because I had to buy bottles, and my bottles that I'm using for my perfume business is coming from there. Actually, it's made in China, but I cannot buy straight from China because the minimum order quantity is just absolutely ridiculous. They're talking about 5 or 10,000 pieces per model. So it's way beyond the number of bottles that I need. So I figured out a way to go to Thailand and find other people and do a joint order from these factories. And then we split the order, and I have to ship everything from there. So every year I'm stuck in Thailand for about a month or more or less 2 months, because along with the bottles I have to buy packaging materials and all that kind of stuff. So also the boxes, and it takes time for them to make it. So, and it's pretty inexpensive, and it's the only country around Asia where there is no custom taxes on top of these bottles. Yeah, the language, I learned it because, first of all, I needed it, and secondly, I am fluent in 5 languages. I can speak the Spanish as well, just a little bit, but it's not really good. But I'm very fluent in 5 languages, of which are Dutch, French, English, German, Thai, and what is Dutch, French, English, German, Thai, and then Spanish. Yeah, there you go. I need to count them with my fingers because I keep losing track. And right now I'm learning for my CW. So CW is considered to be a language too. There, Rich. Whiskey Alpha 1, Golf Zulu Yankee, Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox. Over.
Well, CW is easy by comparison. When I took my exam, I had to pass 20 words per minute. I can copy 120. I can copy 25 words per minute. That's a whole lot easier. But congratulations, 5 languages. That's very impressive. Again, I can communicate in French and Spanish, and then very limited in the other languages: Japanese, Russian, German, Portuguese, Italian, but very limited there. But I can see where your business depends on some trips to Thailand, that would be very beneficial. And when I worked for the amenities company, and we were producing the miniature bottles and shampoos, I'm quite familiar with the orders. We would the last year I was there, we produced 1 billion bottles of little shampoos. So we were able to make these types of orders quite easily. But when you have your own business enterprise, that's another challenge. And I think you found the right way. You found others and put together a group order. Normally, I would think that there would be wholesale distributors that would place those large orders and then break them up for a small percentage markup and sell them to the smaller enterprises. But it sounds like you have formed this with a group on your own, so even better, Kurt. And again, you can be very proud of your accomplishments and your own having your own business. I worked for big companies for many years, and at one point I had my own smaller business, but it wasn't the commercial success that I had hoped for. So I was able to exit and go back to what I do best, and it worked out. We put enough away for retirement, and we also invested well to where I don't have to be concerned. My grandfather, one of them that came from Ukraine, when he came to this country, he had nothing but the clothes on his back and started working for delivering the milk to little stores. Eventually, he bought a small grocery store, and eventually he started buying buildings and apartments, multi-family housing, to where at the time of his passing, he had 500 apartments in New York City. So the management went from my grandfather to his son-in-law, to his son-in-law, and now to me, for lack of anyone else that can do that. So I am the managing member for these multi-family apartments up in the New York City area. I don't take compensation for that. I do it as a service to the family, but I do own a percentage of these buildings passed down from my grandfather and my mother. So it also provides some retirement income beyond my own savings. So for that, we've been very fortunate to have had this type of gifting from my mother and my grandfather. ON7OFF WA1GZY.
Yeah, QSL WA1GZY ON7OFF returning. Yeah, real estate is always a good thing to invest in. Yeah, New York, I think, is very expensive. I think it's one of the most expensive cities in the world, so probably the property has been going up in value for quite some time, so definitely very interesting. Except that, I hear a lot of negative voices about New York. If I do have to be honest with you, Rich, you're in Florida. You're way, way far away from New York, but I'm following another guy who is another YouTuber. He is well known for his repair videos about Apple products. Yeah, he is talking sometimes about New York because he's got his repair shop over there. So he was mainly repairing Apple products, but Apple has put some sticks in the wheel, so because they don't want to have individual repair shops, and this is where his YouTube channel started to grow. His name is Rosman, I think. So, but very interesting because he talks about New York as well, and how the politics over there doesn't seem to be very good because there is, it's the same here in Brussels. If I look at what's going on in Brussels, I've been safe for, it's been 22 years I've been going to Brussels and selling my perfumes over there. But in the past few months, I had a couple of instances where I was attacked once, and I have had a couple of thefts that I've never experienced before. Things are not looking very well, and the management of the cities or the city of Brussels is not very well as well. Just to come back on these bottles that I have to buy down there with the group purchase, it's all because there are, of course, dealers here in Europe, but they're all selling crimp-on bottles. And I'm not looking for any crimp-on bottles. I'm looking for screw-on bottles because I'm selling my products on the market. The way that I sell my products is completely different from a traditional perfume shop. That's why I've got a 4.9 rating on internet. People, they come to my shop. I'm the perfumer. I have direct contact with the customer, and I build my own building blocks of perfumes that I can intermix with each other and create new fragrances while the customer is right in front of me. So customers, they come sometimes with their old fragrance that they have stopped manufacturing, that is out of production, and I try to reproduce something that is close to what they are normally using. So I'm building a customer base. I've got customers buying on my website. I've got customers coming down there. I got professional customers because some of my customers are professional customers reselling my juice under their own brand name, and that's actually what I'm doing. So it's kind of an interesting job. I'm taking a little bit of a leaf out of the perfume design right now because I've been busy designing quite a lot of stuff over the past few weeks. So I'm taking a little bit of a rest, and that's why I'm on the radio right now, Rich. Whiskey Alpha 1, Golf Zulu Yankee, ON7 OFF, over.
Oh, that's fascinating. Just fantastic. So you're doing private label for them, and that's where we would work with IFF because I had a 40% share of all the hotels, cruise lines, and airlines. So each hotel wants to have a different fragrance, a different to reflect their hospitality, if you will. And we would create different bottle shapes, designs, and then order the molds. But you take a hotel chain like the Sheraton, they would put together a contract for 2 million bottles over, let's say, a 1-year period or maybe a 2-year period. And they would guarantee that they would purchase the 2 million bottles over that period. If not, the contract would be extended until they would use up that production. And if they, in turn, if they had more occupancy and needed more, we had to guarantee that they would not be out of stock. So I was working with these companies, but of course the numbers were big numbers to have it work, and we were competing against China. China had labor, people working for maybe 1 or 2 euros a day, and we, of course, can't compete with that type of low labor cost. But we did have machines. Our filling machines could fill 300 bottles in a minute, produce them, cap them, package them. Over.
Yeah, QSL. Yeah, that's. I was just wondering where the manufacturing was done of the products, and you give me a straight answer. So not by mentioning the country, but I guess it's in the U.S. itself. Yeah, that's the problem. Is the competition that you have from Russia, from China, not from Russia, but from China. Yeah, it's that's why I think the other president was better in protecting the country. But yeah, that's another story. But yeah, Richard, you understand what I mean. It's the same over here. How can you protect your manufacturing facility if you have to compete with a country that is having a labor wage cost that is a fraction of what you have as a labor cost over here? That's a big problem. So I'm actually considering myself as the niche perfume designer, but when I am at the shop in Brussels, I position my business as the discounter in niche perfumes. If you have niche perfumes in general, they're very expensive, excessively expensive. They're talking about hundreds, sometimes $300, $400, $500 per bottle. But we're doing it at a fraction of a price. And I'm also working on quantity as far as I'm retailing my products with. And it seems to work very well. I've got a huge customer base, and it's kind of busy. in Brussels when I'm there. And yeah, it's fun because you have contact with the people, and it's a handicraft market. It's actually a tourist handicraft market, so you have people coming from all over the world. So when I'm not on the radio DXing, I'm DXing with my customers. I got a little guest book, and if there is a special customer coming over from a special little small island in the Pacific, I just ask them to sign my little logbook or my guest book. So it's my logbook that I have for my job. So there you are, Rich. Whiskey Alpha 1, Golf Solo Yankee, Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox, over.
ON7 OFF from WA1GZY. Very interesting. And I don't know if you're already providing product to the hotel chains, but the hotels, they market, they want to get heads into beds. That's their revenue. But then once the clients, the guests are coming to the hotel, they think about, well, what else can we sell them to increase our revenue per night? So they have the restaurants, but they also have the gift shops. And there may be a good opportunity for your private label perfumes, because you could co-brand it with the hotel name, if you will. And of course, there are the Marriotts, Ritz-Carltons, the Intercontinentals. Of these chains. That may be a good opportunity for your product line, particularly where you could custom formulate that. So if you have a fragrance that's only available at Hotel X or Hotel Y, it's a constant reminder of the guest experience at that property, and that's a hot button for them. You mentioned New York. I wholly agree. I think New York is too expensive. I think it's too crowded. I would not want to live there. But that's where the properties are. I just came back from my first trip since 2019. I had to tour the properties and meet with the property management people. And I was absolutely shocked that the hotel prices, they wanted $450, $500 and more for one night in a hotel. And that bothered me a great deal. So I stayed in a poor quality hotel, and even that cost me $250 a night for 2 nights, and even that bothers me. ON7 OFF WA1GZY.
Wow, so expensive. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's really exaggerated. Yeah, it's also the Rossmann, or what is it? The Rossmann, the guy. He goes around in New York and he says, look at this building is empty, and there's so many shops that have left the New York city because it becomes just absolutely impossible to make the company profitable because of the excessive rental prices that they're asking. And it's very ridiculous because he goes and walks around on the street and you can see, oh, here this is for rent, and next door is for rent, and right in front is for rent, and just one house further down the road is for rent, and all these places are for rent, but they still continue to ask these excessive rental prices. I have a little special message for you there, Rich. I have to say hello from my dear, very good friend, Mr. 80, Golf 6 Alpha Delta. He is writing it in the chat box, and he's asking me if I should ask you if the new boat dock has been finished. So you have to answer. He is listening with us. Over.
Okay, yeah. Very good. Well, I've worked Addy before. I talked to him on the 14th of May and also on the 19th of December. So I'll say hello to Addy in 19th of December 2020. Both of our contacts on 17 meters. This band. The boat dock workers are out there today, and the head of the construction has told me he might finish it this week. I'll believe it when it's done, because there still looks like a lot of work to do, but he said maybe this week, which would make me very, very happy. I purchased a boat, and the boat dealer has been holding on to it for a number of months, because I said I can't put the boat anywhere until the dock is finished. And lately they've been emailing me and asking me, when are you going to take the boat? It's paid for, but I'm keeping hopeful. I'm hopeful that the dock will be finished, if not this week, which that's what he said he might do. I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks to be able to do that. So very nice that Addie is also listening to us. So you can see I'm pretty active on the air with lots of contacts. My logbook has over 15,500 log entries just in the last few years. Back to you, Kurt. ON7OFF WA1GZY.
Yeah, QSL. I'm just thinking, Rich, if you would have such a long conversation that we're having with these 15,000, boy, you have a hell of a voice over.
I do. I tend to be a rag chewer. I don't do contests very often, very rare. I prefer to get to know people. This, to me, is the thrill of this hobby. I wonder, have you worked with any of the hotels? Because I think they would welcome a custom perfume for their gift shops.
No, I haven't. The thing is, I have to be able to follow production, you know. So, and I'm working alone. I don't have any staff. So it's just a one-man show. And I try to work. I'm very bad in how could I say, delegating stuff. So I try to do as much as I can myself. And my wife, she helps. My parents, they help. So, but it's a small business, and I try to keep it that way, because here in Belgium, if you start to extend your business, the taxman is going to come and follow you and hit you down. Over.
Oh yes, the tax man cometh. No question about that. That is very true. Or you might single out a few boutique hotels in Brussels and make some product available on a private label basis for their gift shop. They're not going to go through hundreds of bottles, but it would be very profitable for them, and it gives you more exposure. Over.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's true. But what I try to achieve is having, these professional customers who are selling it under their own brand name, and they're taking care of their entire branding and the marketing and everything that needs to be done to sell their products. And I'm just manufacturing the juice. And they buy the juice, and they are actually doing the marketing and all the hard work themselves. So I'm just focusing on manufacturing the product, because that's where I get my that's where I have my fun in my life, because I like to design stuff, I like to make stuff, and I've been doing, I was an IP network engineer just like 20 years ago, and then I started and do my own business with the perfumes. So I have another complete background. But yeah, I'm very how could I say? I can do a lot of different things. I'm interested in many fields, and I just love it. Okay, I'm gonna have to go QRT. I'm gonna go down and see how the chicken are doing. You've seen them on the pictures. I need to lock them up before the night falls completely, and I'm going to give my voice a little bit of a rest. But I really absolutely appreciate this QSO, Rich. It's been absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'll put your call sign in the video description so you can find it easily in a few years from now when the propagation is all gone and we're in the bottom of the cycle. So anyway, pleasure is absolutely mine. Really great stuff. And I see that the answer that you gave to the question of 80 is making him very happy because he says, thank you for the 10-5, good buddy. So there you go. Whiskey Alpha 1, Golf Zulu Yankee, Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox, over.
Okay, well, hey, this has been my pleasure, Kurt, and please pass my best wishes to your lovely bride. And again, I think this is what amateur radio is all about. It's so enjoyable, and it's always fascinating. I'm quite active on the bands, so anytime you hear me on, please give me a call, and I will do the same. And I guess I should check on my bride and see what's up to 1,600 hours here locally. So we'll say 7-3, and also to Addy, if he's still listening, and it's really been a lot of fun, Kurt. ON7OFF, all the best from Jacksonville Beach. And if you find you're coming to Florida for a holiday, you must let us know in advance. We'd love to show you about. This is WA1GZY in Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Whenever I make it to Florida, I'll let you know for sure. I lost a very good friend there in Florida that I knew from CB radio as well. He went down with COVID, so he didn't survive it. So yeah, I was one day I wanted to go and visit him, but yeah, finally it never happened. 73s. Have a nice day there, Rich. Stay safe and keep up the good work. We'll definitely be able to cross aerials again. And be aware, I'm never on the radio during the weekends and public national holidays because that's when I'm working on that handicraft market. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday is my time on the market. So I'm never available during the weekends. So I'm having this is my social life, ham radio. 73s, WA1GZY. This is Oscar November 7, Oscar Fox Fox. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
The whiskey station is for November. The whiskey station for Mike November.